this is something that's been said so much. Set goals, set goals for yourself. When you set goals based on outcomes, this is terrible advice. And the best way that you actually want to set your goals is set goals based on yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Teen Finance Podcast. Maseo, this is bittersweet. Our break is almost over. We have to go back to school, and then
oh man, I don't even want to think about
actually
that.
have to like worry about stuff. Nah, I've been enjoying break.
Yeah, how's your break been?
It's been good. In the past couple of days, what I do, I got my hair cut, as you can see.
Yeah, looks good.
I didn't do anything special. I didn't want to cut my hair too short because I need to keep the flow going because baseball season starts soon.
Oh, of course.
But I don't want it to look too mullety or anything. I don't know, but I kind of like the flow mullet thing. It's just I don't know if the chicks do or not. So
I mean, like if you get the mullet, I got the glasses for you. So.
Yeah. So okay, we have. There's one more thing we need to do. Are you going to Evans tonight?
I haven't checked the group chat.
Okay, well, for his birthday, we're gonna go over to his house. We need to get an American picture for A Push.
Oh, for Marshak.
We still need to. So bring the Pit Vipers and bring whatever Bass Pro hats you can find. And
okay.
We'll dress up like frat bros. What else I do? Just last night, we were celebrating my grandma's 80th birthday, and
nice.
we like rented out. We got a ton of rooms in this like hotel, and we like all met in the middle, kind of in like Palo Alto. And this whole hotel was like Silicon Valley themed. So there were just like startup founder quotes on the wall everywhere. It's like, if you fall flat on your face, you're still moving forward. I have a feeling that's like a Zuck quote or something. I'm not positive.
Sounds like it.
And then in the rooms, like if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. That was on the wall. There was a C made out of computer parts, like RAM slots and fans and that kind of stuff. And then there's like, I don't know, some founder looking at a microchip or something. So there's just like a ton of tech art. It was pretty cool. It was definitely like tailored towards the business traveler coming to Silicon Valley. They had a giant like silicon periodic table thing in the
cool.
lobby. So it was kind of cool. What else did I do? I watched Wednesday, the show. Partially because Jenna Ortega is really hot, but also because I don't know. I thought it could be good, but Jenna carries that show on her back, dude. She's the only good actor. Not like some of the. I'm sorry if this is like mean, but the guy that plays Tyler, oh my gosh, he's like, it's so hard to watch and not.
Oh, I know. I was thinking that too.
The way he
watched it.
How do I describe it? He like talks through his lips, and it's just really weird. Like he always seems like he's like I'm not gonna try to do an impression, but like he seems unsure, and he's always talking through his lips. It pissed me off so much. Some of that it's just so corny, dude. But
so whatever. You finished the show?
I did finish it. And
nice. I watched it like when it came out during finals week. That's like, it was the end of me.
No, I mean, it got better. I think the first episodes were kind of slow, but I don't know. It was entertaining. There's gonna be a season 2, and I just like, I felt like I had to watch it for the culture,
Yeah, for the culture, of course. Yeah.
I don't know. How's your last couple of days of break been?
They've been good.
I saw you put the lip on your car. It looks good.
I put the lip and I blacked out the grills. It actually looks.
Did?
Yeah, it looks kind of. I'll send you a picture.
Okay,
it looks kind of sick. But I found like more problems as I was doing that. I was like digging through my trunk, and there was like a missing seal in my trunk, and I knew that water had been dripping into the back of my car, and I was like,
seals on cars are so annoying.
They're so frustrating.
The Bimmer had like seal problems, and it's just full of water. The Jetta's full of water. Like, dude,
yeah, dude.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
should we update? Do people not know? I guess people don't live where we live. They don't know about like the storm and stuff.
Oh yeah,
we got wiped, bro. Our houses are fine, luckily, but like a lot of the piers and stuff in our coastal California town are just destroyed. Like, yeah, like one of them's like half gone.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Capitola is just like gone.
Just wrecked.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you. What else have you done?
Oh yeah. So I've been dealing with my car for like 3 days now. It's been really fun because it's been, it's raining, so I'm on like a time crunch to fix the seal in my car. And so I opened up the back of my car and I was like, wow, there's a lot more water here than usual. And I was just kind of like going through and I was like looking for like the owner's manual. So I opened up the little like boot part of like my trunk. And it's full of water. It's full of water. Like the under part of my trunk is like full,
like where it's like you can see the metal frame and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like 2 feet of water in there. And Yeah, so I had to deal with that, and I had to like rip out all of the interior pieces from my trunk and dry it up. And I went to Home Depot and I like made my own seal. And
But it's like it's
um,
sealed now. You're good.
I think I don't know. I'm parking it in the garage. I cleared out the garage so I can park it in there just to be
Good.
safe because I really don't want to deal with it.
It's
But
like a safety hazard because if you have a ton of water in your car, it's just super moist in there. So your windows will fog up and it will not. It'll be like really hard to defrost. That's what
yeah,
it's
you
like
can't
legit. I have to
defrost.
cut myself a porthole every time I want to drive. It's
Yeah,
sketch,
so
dude. It's so
I
sketch.
ordered on Amazon. There's there's silica packs, like the ones they like ship you
Oh,
stuff
like yeah,
in.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, but so I got
I
those,
spilled
but
one of those all over my floor the other day.
okay, so it's like it's big. It's like
Oh,
head size,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's huge. I put one in. It comes with 2-pack. I put one in the front seat, one in my trunk, and every like 2 weeks or so, you microwave them to get all the moisture out, and you just
But
throw them
that
back in
works.
there, and that works. Yeah, no moisture in my windows, even
I'm
with
gonna
my
order some.
even with the gallons of water in my trunk. So
Okay, bet. I'll order some.
that's
That's. I guess that is the
that was my
solution.
solution to it. I mean, that's all I could figure out. You just have
That's
to
5 head.
microwave them, but it's like kind of light, twenty
Yeah, it's
dollars.
fine.
It's worth it.
Like, are they like
I don't know.
this big? And that's all you need.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's like they're pretty small. I just put one on my dashboard, and whenever I get out, I just pick it up off the floor and throw it up.
That's easy. All
Yeah,
right.
that's been like my 3 days.
I'm sad that we're going back, but we got one good episode before we have to go back to school, and then we're just like depressed. So this is the last time you're gonna see
our
us
energy
happy
will
for half a
drop.
year. Yeah. All right. We've been Maseo and I. One of the things we've been doing through break is reading. It's time to do the Atomic
Is
Habits
it
episode,
time to unveil the Atomic Habits
and
episode?
this is I think this could not be more timely because it is the start of a new year. And a lot of
Yeah.
people, especially, I mean, we did in the last episode, we've made our New Year's resolutions. And Atomic Habits is the perfect book to read at the start of the year because it'll teach us how to stick with our New Year's resolutions. And no need to go and read it because today, Maseo and I are going to give a summary and some practical implementations of this book to help you stick to your New Year's resolutions and any other, good habits you want to start or bad habits you want to break. So
Yeah,
I think we're just going to jump into it. I think we start a little bit explaining what atomic habits are and why building good habits is important. So James Clear, the author of the book, he starts off in the intro paragraph just talking about what the title means. So atomic habits, small habits that can have a big effect. Atomic means tiny, but
tiny
you see like
changes,
an atomic.
remarkable results.
Exactly. That's the mantra of the book. But you see like it's just the idea that you can have these small habits that build up over time because building good habits is the compound interest of self-improvement, right? So
That's
you
so
do
true.
like these small habits over time. And I mean it's just like it's like investing, but it's for yourself. And I think it's the reason why it's so hard to stick with a lot of habits is because there's delayed gratification and you don't get to see results immediately. But that's why the rest of the book is teaching you how to stick it through and find ways to make it easier. So I think he breaks it down into a 4-step process, I guess.
I think 4 parts.
4 parts.
A bunch of chapters in it. I don't know.
So
he does a good job.
It's basically the 4 laws of building good habits. Of behavior change is maybe what he calls it. Yeah. And each one can be inverted for breaking a bad habit, keep the same for starting a good one. So let's jump into the first law. I'm gonna say I'll let you get this one.
First law. Oh, so I think this actually came in before the first law in this book. But is what you're kind of saying about like investing? You say investing in yourself, something like that.
Yeah, I said it's like the compound interest of
yeah. Because he was talking about the like make yourself 1% better every day.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the year you'll be 365% better versus make yourself 1% worse every day. You'll become go to 0 basically.
Yeah.
And I kind of always thought that was interesting. Wait, what is the first one? Sorry, I'm like.
So the first law is making it obvious. So
that I'm trying to find the name. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first it's like a 4-step process, and the first law is about making the habit you want to do as obvious as possible. So there are a couple different strategies to do this. Say, are you on the table thing?
No.
There should be one at the end of the first chapter.
Okay.
But if you can go to page 212 if you want to be where I am.
Page 212. Okay.
So the first way that you can do this is, and just a good place to start with building your habits is writing down your current habits. You want to be aware of them so you kind of know what you're doing. So you can fill out something called a habit scorecard. And this is just a way that he recommends just writing down all of your habits and then doing a plus, a minus, or like, I don't know, some just basically saying what are good habits, what are bad habits, and what are neutral ones. So for example, Maseo, what's your morning routine? What do you do in the morning?
Let's see. It's a bad morning routine that I have. I wake up. I probably snooze my alarm for like 15 minutes.
Strat. Yeah, same.
then I'm back up. That 15 minutes of sleep was better than my whole night. I get on my phone right away.
Mm-hmm.
I lay there for probably another 15 minutes. I get up. I get semi-dressed, like comfortable, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I open up my window. I go, and that's usually like when I like shower, like brush my teeth, all that stuff. And then occasionally I'll eat breakfast, but I rarely eat breakfast. And then I'm kind of just into my day at that point.
Yeah. So what are some things you mentioned in this? First one, snooze the alarm. You put this on your habit scorecard, probably a negative, right? You don't want to be snoozing your alarm too much. Maybe just get better sleep, go to bed earlier to make sure you're well rested. So we'll give that a negative. What was the next thing? Like check your phone. Definitely a negative to do that first thing in the morning.
Don't need to start like
then
that.
You get out of bed. Is that a neutral or a positive? I don't know.
Probably neutral, right? I feel like
it's a neutral. You have to get out of bed. Get dressed. Probably a neutral too. But then I don't know. Brush your teeth. Wash your face. We'll say that's a positive, especially if you're brushing your teeth for like 2 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And then eating breakfast would definitely be maybe it's a neutral. I don't know.
Maybe neutral. I don't know. Depends your goal, I guess.
But see, we're not trying to like, hype up Maceo's morning routine. You just want to be honest with yourself. The only person you're cheating by like lying and trying to make yourself better is yourself. So definitely just be honest with yourself. Figure out what habits are working, what habits are not working. And that's a good place to start. You need to be aware of what habits you're doing to change them or start new ones. Like if you're not aware, it's just it's going on autopilot. I mean, that's what a habit is. It's stuff happening subconsciously. So you're trying to consciously think about these potentially, pernicious. Did I use that vocab word right?
Pernicious. I'm not sure.
You're trying to be aware of these things that could be hurting you in your subconscious mind. So yeah, that's a good place to start. So then, Maseo, I want to let you do some of this first law stuff. So
the next one, it's like use implementation intentions. So it's like you kind of set like these goals or like rules that you're gonna stay and stick by. So you'll say like, let's say I will brush my teeth at 8 in the morning in the bathroom, right? And you kind of like you set those like standards for yourself, and you kind of just like build it, and then eventually the goal is that like that standard that you make will just become like a habit. It'll just become something that you do every morning. You wake up, you go brush your teeth at that time.
Yes.
And that's like the thing that you're doing, right? You want to build on that?
I think you hit the nail on the head. So yeah, implementation method is basically just picking a time and a place when you're going to do something. I actually don't like it though. I think the implementation method is too tough. Like sticking to a time.
I don't think it would work for me.
Yeah. And James Clear acknowledges this, and he gives what I think is a better alternative, which is habit stacking. So I'll let you take that.
Habit stacking. So it's kind of like you like take advantage of your morning, basically, right? So it's like I'm going off the morning example still. So it's kind of like you start your morning and you're like, okay, so after I brush my teeth, I'm going to go and meditate for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then after I meditate for 2 minutes, I'm going to go and do something else. And that kind of allows you to like standardize your morning in like a way that's not reliant on time, more reliant on your own schedule.
It's really habit stacking. It's like taking a current habit that you already do and making it so you perform a habit that you want to start right after you do that existing habit. So like you said, brushing your teeth is something that like most, I'm really hoping is a habit for most people already. But then you could implement something you want to do, like Maseo said, meditating. It could be like journaling, literally anything. Right after that. So I think that's easier than trying to pick like a time and place to start something new. If you build it off something that's already existing and that you already do, it's more likely to actually be done.
Yeah.
The next part, 1.4 of the first law, designing your environment. I think this one is super important. So, Maseo, you've talked about this in the past. I don't know. You said like put your gym bag or something like right in front of your door before you leave, so it's just right there and you see it. Or like, I don't know. A shot for us is like, I don't know. Can you see? Put a book on your bed, so when you try to go to if you're trying to read every night before you go to sleep, put your book on your pillow when you wake up. So when you go to there at night, it'll be there.
Yeah, I've been trying to do that actually. I've been putting my my book on top of my keyboard on my computer. So when I go to sit down and try to like go on YouTube or something, I have to move the book out of my way, and then like the guilt catches up to me, and I'm like, oh man, I should really read this right now. Yeah, and I read instead of watching Netflix or YouTube for the next 2 hours.
It's, I mean, your environment changes everything. There's more. I don't want to talk too much on this because there's more stuff based on your environment later, but huge thing.
And you kind of said like one thing that kind of like stuck with me. You said like set yourself up for success, which is like totally makes sense. Just like enable yourself to do the things that you should be doing, like you want to do.
So yeah. What's the inversion of this? Instead of making it obvious, you want to make the cues for your bad habits invisible. So what like instigates a bad habit? Let's say if you saw a glorious plate of cookies sitting on your kitchen table, would you eat them?
Yes.
Exactly. I would too. It's right there. They're calling my name. So what can you do let's say you're trying to lose weight, you're not trying to eat unhealthy foods like that. You're going to want to make it invisible.
You don't leave those cookies on the counter.
So I have a bowl of candy on my desk. It's probably not a good idea. But I don't know. I guess I don't eat food, so that's the way I can get something in my body at least. But really, if you're trying to stop a bad habit, just like trying to make it harder to do that. So, I mean, one extreme example of this, let's say you spend too much time watching TV or something. Maybe put your TV in the closet. So if you want to watch TV, you have to, go to the closet to find the TV. You don't just like see that cue that like, sparks this need to do something. I don't know. Any other examples you can think of?
I mean, I guess like I remember in an episode like a while ago, I talked about taking the batteries out of your remote and like putting them downstairs.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you'll have the remote with you, but then you have to go find the batteries or put them like two different places. Like put the remote in your garage, put the batteries in your kitchen.
You're kind of jumping to the third law. You're jumping to the third law right now. My bad. It's good. It's good. We'll get to that in a second though. That's a really good example of
I haven't read the third law. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, basically just removing the cues. Like, something that Morty said. He was talking about putting his phone in a different room when he wants to study. This is one of the study tips he gave. My phone is sitting on my desk right here. It's terrible, dude. It's terrible. I need to fix this. So the cue is visible right there. So maybe like when I see a notification on my phone, I want to check it. It's just impulsive. It's like, it's a habit, right? It's happening on autopilot. Yeah. How can I make it so that cue is invisible? Put my phone somewhere else. Turn off notifications. Do something like that. That is how you can stop these bad habits. You just have to find the cue, the thing that's instigating that, and then erase it, make it invisible. And I think you'll see results pretty quick. It'd be really hard to check your phone if you never saw notifications popping up because it was in a different room where you turn notifications off. So
yeah, he's like, what I've been doing, like whenever I'm trying to get something done, I take my phone right here, right? I throw it over there, and I throw like a pillow on top.
You don't see it. Also, like, I don't know, the different do not disturb methods that like are built into iOS 15 and stuff now. I want to try to figure those out. Doing like a work setting or something like that. I don't know. I know my friend Benson does that. Benson is pretty good at studying, so I would trust that.
Okay, interesting.
All right, second law. How far are you into this one, Maseo?
2.2 is where I stopped. So I guess I can do 2.1. Okay. So it's like it's called temptation bundling. So it's like pair an action that you want to do with the action that you need to do, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say maybe this is for example, you want to go for a walk, right? Mm-hmm. and you probably need to go to the gym, right? So why don't you go and you walk to the gym? Or
that's good. No, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's the example.
I kind of forgot this.
It
No,
went through my head.
I'm like
Yeah,
reanalyzing
okay.
this. It's been a minute since I've read.
Yeah, so it's just like temptation bundling, right? Or like,
Yeah.
let's say I want to eat food, but I also need to start eating healthy, right? So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go eat something healthy. That's just what it is. It's you just kind of stack like the thing that you want to do, and then you just kind of pair it with the thing that you should do, and it kind of makes it easier for you to like trick your mind into wanting to do it, because your mind is like craving whatever you want. It craves like the dopamine from doing it.
Yeah.
So you just do it, and you do it in a way that helps you and like betters you.
Yes.
That's the gist of it.
Sweet. All right. 2.2, the second part of the second law, which is making things attractive, right?
Yeah.
So I think this may be the best piece in this entire book, or at least what I think is the most effective. And it's joining a culture where your desired behavior is the norm. So
Yeah.
if you lived in a house with a ton of gym bros, do you think you would go to the gym?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you would. No question.
So we've talked about this in the past. It's really the people that you surround yourself with. You are going to become the average of them. And you see this everywhere. If you hang out with a ton of people who do drugs, you're going to do drugs and stuff like that. If you hang out with a ton of people who are like, studying 24/7 and that all get good grades, most likely you're going to end up joining them. This is easily the most passive way you can do things without really thinking. It's definitely the most effective. Like, it's really, really hard not to become the average of the people you hang around.
Totally.
So I don't know, Maseo, what are your thoughts on that? Like,
I mean, I agree with it, but I feel like it also could be kind of harsh. Like, I think he acknowledged it in the book where he was saying like, don't just go like drop all of your friends because they don't do what you want them to do.
Yeah,
but
true.
like, I feel like that's good. Like situationally, it's like maybe you see a group of people that who are successful, and you can try to like kind of like intermingle with them, and then probably success will follow with that. But also, I feel like you can take that too extremely. So
yeah,
I mean, there's always a mix.
All right. So next part is creating a motivation ritual. So this is doing something that you enjoy immediately before a difficult habit or something like that. So let's see, you want to go to the actually, that's not a good example because you wouldn't go to the gym right after eating a poke bowl because then you'd be like full. I'm trying to think of something. But
oh, I get the idea. Okay.
Basically just pick something that is really fun and try to associate that with a difficult habit. So like, I don't know, what's something that you have fun doing, Maseo?
Driving. I like driving. I find it really entertaining, to be honest.
Drive to the gym or something like that. I don't know. So it's just finding something that you really enjoy and then doing that before a difficult habit, so you can kind of associate those two things. So when you associate that habit with having fun, right?
Totally. Like, I like going to the gym, but I don't like doing legs. So
yes. All right. The inversion of the second law, which is making it attractive, is making it unattractive. So you need to, the best way to do this is you want to change your mindset around these. You want to change the mindset behind avoiding these difficult habits, these bad habits. So you want to, let's say, you have your phone, okay? You're constantly checking this. Every time you get a Snapchat notification, okay, so now I'm checking Snap because someone texted the
no
Dad's in Hawaii?
What? Does he just like disappear? He just like
okay,
cool. Have fun then.
So
what?
Basically, you just want to maybe checking that Snap. I don't want to do that all the time. So I'm going to highlight the bad effects that it's doing. It's taking away from time that I could spend, doing meaningful work that I really want to do. And then the positives are that, by not doing that, I can have more time doing things that I truly want to do instead of things that like my subconscious mind just kind of does out of habit. So this is like a mindset thing. Well, there's definitely more practical stuff coming up, but if you want to try to do something to just change your mental, just start thinking about the pros and cons of your bad habits. And I mean, if it's a bad habit, obviously the cons are going to be, way higher than the pros. So
yeah. I mean, you also have to be like self-aware enough to notice your bad habits.
But I mean, that's why you do the habit scorecard at the start.
Exactly. Yeah.
You want to write down all of your habits, and then you can figure out if they're good or bad. Just be honest with
Exactly.
yourself, or else it's not
Totally.
going to be good. All right. La número tres. You want to make the habits that you want to do as easy as possible. So this is stuff that we've totally talked about in the past, like what'd you call it? The
20-second rule.
20-second rule, or I don't know. That's a little bit different. I don't know.
No, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Putting together your gym bag before you go to the gym. That makes it easier. So,
yeah.
First one is just reducing friction. So you want to decrease the number of steps between you and your good habits. So this could be something, like, I don't know. We keep using the going to the gym example. That's also similar for part 2, which is, priming your environment, making your environment easier to make future actions easier. So say like putting together your gym bag is reducing that friction, and then putting your gym bag at your front door so you see it like right when you get home or something. That is priming your environment. So, I mean, dude, environments are huge. Like, I think in the book they talk about in like in a workplace cafeteria or something, instead of they want people to drink more water, right? So instead of putting sodas in the front display of each fridge, they put waters there, and then they put sodas like far away in the back. And the percent of people getting waters just went up huge because they're putting it right in front of them. They're priming their environment, making it easier for the good habits. So, I mean, that's a huge one. Next one is mastering the decisive moment. So there are tons of these throughout the day when you can make a critical choice that will, change the course that you go down. Because I mean, your habit, like let's say the difference between a good and a bad day is a ton of forks in a road. Like think I don't know, like a bracket or something. They might like one side of like a bracket going out, and that's what it looks like. But you start the middle, and then each choice goes up or down,
Okay.
But those first big choices have the most effect. And mastering those decisive moments where it's like picking between, going to the gym in the morning or not going to the gym can make a huge difference. And just mastering that decisive moment so you do the right thing. It's kind of like a commitment device in a way, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But it's really just getting good at motivating yourself just to get that one moment right, because you don't need to motivate yourself through the entire activity. But just getting that one part, it'll like, get you out of the door into the gym, which is a huge step because you're likely not to leave the gym after you drive there, So just mastering that, like, it might just be like a 10-second decision to figure out if you're going to go to the gym or not. It's getting really good at that.
Totally.
All right. We've talked about this. You've talked about this, Maseo. It's the 2-minute rule. So it's downscaling your habits so they can be done in 2 minutes. So reading 50 pages a day, it can't be done in 2 minutes. Reading 1 page a day can. And the idea is you want to make it so you can get this like participation award. So you basically want to like start making it so your habits are just really, really easy. Because let's say you read 1 page a day, often you're gonna, do something. You're gonna do something for 2 minutes, and then you're gonna want to do it for longer. So I mean, it's like when you're studying, just try to get into that thing for 2 minutes. Just try to start that assignment for 2 minutes, and you're likely to get on a roll. And that's like it really is a big part of just trying something and then realizing that it's not that hard and that you're kind of procrastinating, because you procrastinate because you're scared of something, like think about it. What's something you've been procrastinating recently?
There's some clips.
So maybe you're like scared of messing up and not making the clip perfect or anything like that, or scared of how long it's going to take or anything like that. So it's really just like realizing that it ain't that bad. And even if after 2 minutes, let's say you don't like it, just stop. You can even force yourself, just at least for the beginning of your habit, to only do it for 2 minutes. So instead of saying I want to go to the gym every day and get swole, maybe make it I'm going to do 10 push-ups every night before I go to bed. That is a way better start, because what it's doing is it's casting a ton of votes. I should have said this at the start, because this would be a really good thing to lead with. But the whole preface about that, one of the major things he talks about is how your identity is the major motivator of change.
Oh yeah.
I'll actually come back to this at the end, but to tie it all together, I guess. But basically, once you associate a habit with your identity, you're going to want to keep it going more. I'm gonna wait till the end. It's weird to do it in the middle, so I might as well just wait at this point. I meant to do it at the start. It's all right. All right. So another thing, an easy way to lock yourself in is to automate your habits with technology. So for me, setting an alarm that goes off every day. Like I have it going through my Echo Dot. So it's just like, wake me up every day at this time. Technology is getting so good, it can really help you do these things. Another thing is like, say I want to save more into my investing account. I set it up so that Charles Schwab automatically takes $50 out of my checking account at the start of each month or something like that. You can do it, adjust the numbers, anything like that. But it's just like small things like that technology can automate for you. So you don't have to think about it as much. You're kind of like putting that thing that you might have to do consciously into, a computer that can do it for you.
Yeah.
So you're freeing up your RAM, I guess. I like to use computer terms. Yeah. So what is the inversion of this third law of making it easy? It's making it difficult. So you want to, let's say, Maseo, I'll let you do your remote example now, your TV remote. So the first one is, increasing friction. So go for it. Your TV remote
increasing
example.
Friction.
Yeah,
right. So you take the TV remote, right? You take the batteries out and you take the remote. You go put the remote maybe like in your kitchen. Let's see. Okay, the TV's in your room in this situation, right?
Put it in the closet, dude. Put the TV in the closet.
Put the whole TV in the closet. Okay.
Yeah, every time.
Okay, the TV's off the wall. It's in the closet. Mm-hmm. And now, why would you go take it out of the closet? That's so much work.
You better really want to watch whatever you're like trying to do.
Really want to watch it.
So small things like that, just making it really, really difficult to do these bad habits. Like it could be powering off your phone every single time you check it. Because then, let's say you want to check your notifications, you have to sit there, wait like 6 seconds to power it back on, stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's like the easiest way, I think, to break habits. And then a really good one is using a commitment device. So this can be done to, make good habits or stop bad ones, but it's making a decision that you can do right now while your conscious mind is working really well, and it's not your automated mind and you're in this mood of self-improvement or something. It's committing to something right then that's going to lock you in from stuff in the future. So let's say you want to stop eating chips or I don't know, some unhealthy food. Something a commitment device you could do in that second, you could go get your bag of chips and you just like step on it and like crush it up and throw it in the trash. That's a commitment device. Obviously there are different examples of this, but I mean, like what I said about the investing, that's totally a commitment device. Automating that.
Yeah, the $50. Yeah.
Because like I'm making a decision that second that's gonna, it's just gonna do that. It's hard to, stop that. It's not that hard to stop that from happening. My favorite example of the commitment device is a strat that I've been doing for the past year. This is a Sam Crane signature strat here. So, I mean, everyone think to yourself right now and be honest. You can just check your screen time if you need to. How long do you spend on TikTok or some other short form content platform every day? For me, before I implemented the Sam Crane signature, it was really, really high, man. It was not good. But TikTok, they have this feature. They have screen time limits, right? So what I do is I go on TikTok and I set up a screen time limit. I make it 40 minutes. So I think that's the lowest one they let you do. But the most time I can spend on TikTok is 40 minutes. And then you have to put in a password. And you have to put in password twice. So I just put in a random password. I remember it for a second so I can put it in again. And then I just forget it. So that I don't know. And what that does is I can't spend more than 40 minutes on TikTok unless I delete the app, which also deletes the cache for it. So my whole For You page is messed up and it's not tailored and I have to redo all that. I have to sign back into all the accounts. It's just a massive pain. Something I did realize though, is I can't switch to the Teen Finance account on my phone anymore, but that's fine because I think I can access that on the computer.
Yeah, you can.
So that's one way to make it really, really difficult. Of course, sometimes like my friends are like, hey, Sam, check out this TikTok I sent you. And I just can't do it. But it's really no big deal. I can just check it tomorrow. Of course, I mean, whatever. It's fine. But I mean, those times when my friends ask me to like look at a TikTok that they sent me, maybe that'll lead to 5 minutes of scrolling, which is just detrimental. So yeah, it's making it difficult, but it's making it difficult with a commitment device. It's just one of the strategies.
I need to do that. My time on TikTok is horrendous.
Do it right now, Maseo.
I threw my phone, remember?
All right. I'm going to make you this at the end of the pod. I'm going to be your accountability partner, which I'll get to in a second. All right. Fourth law. Make your good habits satisfying. So, one thing you can do is you can use reinforcement. So you can give yourself an immediate reward every time you complete a good habit. So say, for us, we want to start going to the gym more, right? What if we went, I mean, obviously this is kind of colliding with other habits of wanting to save money and stuff, but let's say we're rich and we just want to get to the gym more. We go get Pokeballs every time after we go to the gym
every day.
So maybe then it's like you build that habit of going to get Pokeballs after you go to the gym, and that's how you associate them together. So then you're going to go to the gym more. So that's just giving yourself an immediate reward for doing a potentially difficult habit.
Yeah, I was doing that for a while actually. I got you seen Fairlife before, like the high protein milk.
Yeah.
I had chocolate Fairlifes, and when you first get them, the first like 20 bottles taste like heaven. Then they start to taste like coal. But for those first 20 bottles, I would only drink one every time I went to the gym. So I'd be like, oh man, I want one. Oh, I got to go to the gym. Then I can come home so I can make this protein useful.
Let's try.
And so it worked about 20 times until it started to taste like sandpaper and coal mixed together. But
yeah. I sit next to Keegan in Spanish, and every day we have chalky milk time where he pulls out a chalky milk and he just chugs it in one go. So, hey, maybe going to Spanish is really difficult for him, and that's how he associates drinking the chocolate milk with
that
it.
Chalky milk gets him through it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So the second part is make doing nothing enjoyable. So this is when you want to avoid a bad habit and just see the benefits you get from it. So doing nothing would be not checking my phone right now. So I have to make that enjoyable. I have to realize the benefits of it, and then use that as a way to say like, oh, I didn't do anything, but maybe that left my mind to do something else or something like that just by not doing that bad habit. So the next one is using a habit tracker, and this is a good way. Visualizing streaks is very, very you're motivated by them. My sister has like, I don't know, 500-day streak on Duolingo. She's not going to lose that or something. Yeah. So she does Duolingo every single day just because she has that streak. So getting a habit tracker, there's actually a printout of this. So you can like look it up, sort of like Atomic Habits habit tracker. I have one right here. So I don't know if it's
is it a piece of paper?
It's a piece of paper. You can get it even sells like a journal, but I have like reading gem. Obviously, like I've been fucking slacking on these, but it's all right. At least I've been reading every day, and I see that streak, so I don't want to end it, right?
Yeah.
So a habit tracker is a good way to visualize streaks, see it front and center, put that maybe, going back to the environment thing, put that someplace where you're going to see it every single day. And then you'll be motivated to keep your habits. So the next part of that is if you miss once on your habit tracker or on your streak, don't miss twice. Never miss twice should be like a rule for anything. So let's say, you miss going to the gym one week. Don't miss it twice, because then you start a streak in the opposite direction, right? So you want to keep this forward momentum, and not missing twice is a great way to do that. I think it was like Matt D'Avella or one of those productivity YouTubers. He has a rule like he can never go 2 days without going to the gym. He can't miss twice. He tries to go every day, but he can't miss twice. So that's a really good rule of thumb to build.
Yeah.
Maseo, if the fourth law is make it satisfying, what do you think the inversion of the fourth law is?
Make it unsatisfying.
You're a genius, Maseo.
Oh my god.
All right, so what's one way to make it unsatisfying? The first way is something that we actually implemented with an amazing degree of success, I think.
Oh my god.
So it's getting an accountability partner. So we were trying to promote this podcast. We've been trying to post more clips, and I wanted to motivate Maseo to post clips every week, right? And we had a little bit of trouble with this for a while, but then we found something that you haven't really missed an upload, have you? I mean, there's like
No, I haven't missed one
the
yet. No.
FLDs, but you haven't missed it. If Maseo, so every month he gets 2 flex late days. So basically he has to upload a clip every week by 3 a.m. on Tuesday, which is the time that I upload the podcast. And what happens if he doesn't? He has to pay me $20. And Maseo really doesn't want to pay me $20.
I'm not. It's never gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen. So he's
Never.
not gonna miss a clip upload, and then he's gonna post 52 clips a year, which is gonna be amazing. And then we have 2 flex late days every week, every month. So he has like he can be like 2 days late, or basically he has like 2 late days that he can use throughout the month. And that's in case of an emergency or anything that pops up.
Yeah,
he already used his
them this month.
month.
I burned through them.
So now you can't be late at all. So I guess I was almost a commitment device, but
well, now I'm even more committed because I can't even use my late days.
Exactly. And then 4.6 is kind of tying into this, but it's creating a habit contract, and we signed a verbal agreement. It was a gentleman's agreement. You didn't sign any papers, but
no papers.
If you're gonna pay me $20 if you don't do it, it's a gentleman's agreement. Your honor is on the line. So as long as your dignity is worth more than $20, we're good. But yeah. So it can also be like making it public. So one example used in the book was one guy was like trying to not wake up at a certain time every morning, and if he didn't wake up, he would have a bot automatically post a tweet that said, it is 8:05 or something like that. He was trying to wake up at 8 o'clock. And I am not awake yet because I'm lazy and useless. And then it would say, leave your Venmo, and the first 5 people leave their Venmo will get paid $5. So one, he loses $25 every time he doesn't wake up on time, and 2, everyone knows that he's lazy and useless and missed his alarm. So that's a very good way to make it painful and public. But hey, do you think he's gonna wake up before 8:05 most days? Yeah. So there you go. That's a way to make it.
What if he's really tired and he's like, you know what, whatever, this is worth $25.
Then he has to pay $25 and everyone gets to know. So yeah, it's then he maybe has to make the cost higher or something like that if he's really motivated.
You should make a script that just tracks his Twitter account, and then the second that tweet comes out, it just drops a Venmo.
Exactly. All right, those are the 4th laws. I want to go to something that I really should have talked about this at the start. But it's the way that it's like the 3 layers of behavior change.
Oh yeah.
So this is where you can set your goals and your habits and stuff. So think about it like an onion. Okay, you have multiple layers. The innermost part is identity. This is the strongest part. Out of that is your processes, and further out is your outcomes. So when you set goals based on outcomes, you're like, people have, this is something that's been said so much. Set goals, set goals for yourself. According to James Clear, this is terrible advice. And the best way that you actually want to set your goals is set goals based on processes, not outcomes. So instead of saying, I want to become a millionaire by age 25 or something like that. Yeah. Then you're setting a goal, which is get to a millionaire by age 25. But you haven't laid out the steps that you're going to get there. So, Maseo, let's say our goal is to build a huge podcast. Let's say we want to grow to 1 trillion listeners a month, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be very difficult. So we want to do goals that are more in our control. And one way that we've done this is our goal. We switched from, growing a big podcast. So we want to post 1 podcast every single week. That is the system that is going to get us to that outcome, right? This is the process that is going to get us to that outcome. But there's one layer that's even stronger than that. So yeah, building systems and setting goals based on systems is great because that's something that you can base on habit. Like now we post a podcast every week and it's a habit now. Like, like Saturday night, we always like text each other, figuring out when we're going to record the pod, if we're going to record on Sunday or Monday, so we can release it on Tuesday. Yeah. And it's just become a habit at this point. We just do it every week. It's like almost mindless. Like it's
I know.
It's totally a habit that we built up. But there's one more layer, I think, beyond the process that is definitely stronger. and that is the identity. When you associate something with your identity, you will fight extremely hard to keep it. So now we identify as the people that post a podcast every week. We are podcasters.
Yeah.
We are going to do so much work just to accomplish that and post something every week. And I think I talked about it and it was an episode where I said how to get straight A pluses. And I'm going to circle back with new knowledge because I had some self-discovery. I don't get straight A pluses because of like this whatever study hacks or anything that I put. Those are the processes. The real reason that I get good grades is because I've been getting good grades for a very long time, and I associate myself with being an A+ student. So I do everything in my power to maintain that. I make sacrifices. Like I don't sleep because I associate myself as someone who gets good grades. I associate myself as I think of myself. My identity is like part of my identity is like I do good on standardized tests. That's like something I've done it for a long time, and it's built up into like now it's actually a part of my identity, which sounds like terrible. Who wants to be the person who associates? Like that's a terrible identity to have. Whatever, it keeps me going. Like I will study to do good on the SAT or anything like that because there's that identity, and you want to keep that. Like that's your public identity that you put out. You want to maintain that if it's like a good identity. So let's say what's the inverse of this? What's something bad? What if you like identify as like a smoker or something like that? So this is where you need to start, instead of saying like when someone offers you a cigarette, let's say you want to stop smoking, instead of saying no, I'm gonna pass that time. I'm trying to stop smoking. So now you're identifying as someone who is a smoker, but they're trying to stop. But what if instead you say, no, I don't smoke. I'm not a smoker. Then you're casting that vote for changing your inner identity. Identity is everything. It's what really pushes you to maintain these habits. And I mean, for everyone listening right now, if you made it this far, just think about what you identify as and think about the habits you do to maintain that. And you'll realize like it's true. You really fight hard. Let's say you identify as someone who's swole and goes to the gym. I guarantee you are going to keep going to the gym to maintain that identity.
Yeah.
Maseo, what think about some things that you identify as?
Identify as?
Yeah.
Podcaster.
Podcaster, there you go. You show up here every week to do it.
Every week. I know, I haven't missed a week yet.
Let me think. What I'm trying to think of what comes off to me. So you a car guy?
I guess. I feel like it's kind of cheesy to call myself.
Don't.
But yeah.
It doesn't. So it doesn't matter if they're cheesy.
It doesn't
does not matter if they're cheesy. I just called myself. I just said that I do good on standardized tests. That is so cringe. That is so cringe to say. So a car guy is nothing compared to that.
I'm a car guy. Okay, I'm a car guy.
You're a car guy. How much time did you spend in your garage this week fixing up your car to make it look nice?
Probably like 60 hours.
There you go. There's a perfect example of it. You just spent so long making your car look nice because you identify as someone who has a nice car and you identify as someone who is a car guy.
Yep.
So when you want to do behavior change, you need to cast votes that change your identity. And if you want to start going to the gym, you need to identify as someone who's a gym bro. And it's really as easy as that. It's not easy though to change your identity. Changing your identity takes time. I said it's as easy as that, but it's not easy to change your identity. It takes time. It's the real reason why like the longer you do a habit, the more you're setting yourself up to do that. So that's all the things that we've talked about before are ways you can change your identity and ways you can make it easier, because it's a feedback loop. When you do a habit over time, you're going to start associating yourself with that habit, and then you're going to do habits that build onto that identity you built. And that's why habits are hard to break and hard to start, but with the methods that we just outlined, it's totally possible for anyone. So take that into your New Year's resolutions. Like, I don't know. For anything, like, what did we say were our New Year's resolutions?
What?
Comfort zone was one of yours, right? Seeking discomfort, doing spontaneous things. So you're a spontaneous person, right?
Yeah, I'm a super spontaneous person.
Yeah, exactly. So now you're gonna want to live up to that. You just said it live on a podcast, and all of our viewers just heard, just all the trillions of viewers that Teen Finance gets just heard you say that. Man. So you better live up to it. And I mean, if you have bad habits, like, should I call out one of our friends right now? I'm not gonna say his name. So one of our friends named Chris, who his name actually isn't Chris.
Oh man, freaking Chris.
Bro,
Man.
Chris spends so long playing video. He spends so much time playing video games. And it's partially
Chris
because
is an issue.
Chris identifies as a gamer, right? Chris knows that. So if we're trying to get Chris to play less video games and get out and do stuff more, we were doing our best the other night.
Trying to gaslight him.
We were trying to gaslight Chris into thinking of himself as the life of the party, as the party animal, right?
Yeah.
And we're just trying to change his identity internally, so when he comes and hangs out with us more and gets out, it's manipulative, but in a good way.
100%. But
it's 100% in a good way, though.
We want the best for them, though. In the end, we want the best for them.
And I mean, part of the reason why Chris plays so much video games, probably because a lot of the rest of us in the friend group play a lot of video games too. I guess I'm an outlier.
Yeah.
I don't play any video games. I guess it's because my identity is so strong with the other things related to school and all of that. I don't really identify as a gamer. But I guess that's where the identity is just so strong. It's able to overcome that part where it's like surrounding yourself with different people.
Totally.
All right. We're at 50 minutes already. But real quick, there's at the end of the book, he gives advanced tactics to go from being merely good to being truly great. So I just want to end it off by talking about some of these advanced tactics. So the first one is the truth about innate talent and about genes. So I used to try to convince myself, and I would always say when people like, you know, or like say like, oh, you're so good at this, when I would see other people who are like really good at stuff, I'd always try to think, oh, I can be just as good as them, because innate talent doesn't matter. The thing is, there are things called genes, and you're born with natural traits that make you better suited for certain things. So like Michael Phelps has really short legs but a massive torso, and that makes him like the ideal build for a swimmer, versus like someone who's like a distance runner. You know, they have super long legs and a short torso, which makes them ideal for a distance runner, but they're going to struggle to swim, where like physically the best build to have is a really big torso, because you have bigger lung capacity and things like that. And Michael Phelps, if you try to run, he has short legs, so he can't run that fast. So even if Michael Phelps he practiced so much to become the best runner in the world, it just wouldn't happen because he doesn't have the build to do it. So finding these things where you have a natural gift in them, it's going to tend to be the things that you have more fun doing because it's fun to win, and you'll win if you have these natural talents. So that's why I think it is super important while you're young, while you're in high school or something, to explore a ton of different things and find what clicks. Because if you're naturally good at it, I mean, you're very likely to enjoy it. And then you're going to, you know, this is a finance podcast, so I better talk about money. You're going to earn more money if you're good at something, like 90% of the time.
That's true. And
you're going to have more fun doing it. So, I mean, just finding those things that you're good at. I mean, you're going to enjoy it if you're good at it. It's imperative, I think, to find something you're good at.
Totally.
Is the last thing? Yes. Yeah, last couple of things.
So many more layers to this book than I thought.
I know, no, yeah. I'm sorry if I spoiled it for you with making you record this podcast.
No, you're good. No, I'll still make my way through it.
You still better read it. There's so many good stories in there.
No, totally. I like his stories.
No, I compare his writing style is so good. James Clear is naturally good at writing, and therefore he did it, and he's very successful at it. So, I mean, there you go. There's an example of that. All right, Goldilocks rule.
Franklin.
Huh?
He writes like Benjamin Franklin.
Bro, it's just elegant.
No, he really does.
So, the Goldilocks rule. This is how to stay motivated. If something's really, really easy, it's not going to be super fun to do it. So, let's say like Anakin slaughtering younglings. If you think he would have super fun being a Sith Lord if all he faced were like younglings that he can just cut down, like wave his laser sword and just kill them? No. You want to have, like, has it ever been, Maseo, let's say if something's super easy, would you just have fun doing that over and over for a long period of time?
No.
It would get dull. It would get really dull. But if something was also impossible and you could never get a win, would you want to keep doing that either?
No.
You need to find the Goldilocks point, the point where things are hard enough to challenge you intellectually, physically, anything like that, but you can still get those wins that give you that dopamine rush, that everyone talks about. So that's it's important to to challenge yourself, to push yourself, so you can keep that challenge going. But you also want to get wins, so don't face off with some opponent who's gonna pummel you. Yeah,
totally. Yeah.
All right, and then the last thing that he talks about is the downside of creating good habits or creating habits in general. And the thing is, once you create a habit, you start to think about it less. That's the definition of a habit. It's stuff that's happening in the subconscious. You start to pay a little bit less attention to quality. So it's important to maybe every month or something check in on your habits and make sure you're still doing it to a high level. So like, let's say when you're doing like what's a habit I've been doing recently, which is actually I got a commitment device to help me out with this. An electric toothbrush. It has a timer for 2 minutes. So when you brush for 2 minutes every day, you start doing that habit. It's good. But at the start, I'm probably like thinking about it. I'm so hyped that I'm starting this new habit. I'm going to brush my teeth really nice. It's like another identity is like, I want to be someone who has good teeth. Right?
Yeah.
So I want to brush them well. That's going to be a motivator. But at one point, once I build that habit of brushing every day for 2 minutes, like I'll notice myself, I'll just like, be a little bit less careful with it, So that's something that you want to make sure you're still doing stuff to a high level and you're not slacking off. Or else you can have those downsides. So yeah, that's Atomic Habits. I highly recommend the book to anyone who just listened to this whole thing. I mean, we summarized it, but there's still so many examples, so many things we missed, and so many things that we just messed up in the summary completely, probably. So I highly recommend you go read it for yourself. You can get a hardcover version. This is not sponsored, by the way. You can get a hardcover version for like $10 on Amazon. $10. 1 day shipping. It'll show up the next day. So highly recommend it. It was a good read. And if you want to support your New Year's resolutions, or if you want to start reading more, I think this is the perfect first book to read, because then you're gonna want to get into the habit of reading. It's just I got a ton of books for Christmas, and I'm like, I'm definitely gonna read this one first, because then it'll get me in the habit of reading in general. So yeah, that's the end of this episode. Let's do one gentleman's agreement real quick. Maseo, we you know how we said a gentleman's agreement to like you to post a clip every day? So we put a lot of time into this podcast. If you made it to the end of this, let's just make a quick agreement. You're gonna go take 5 seconds to go leave a review and subscribe or follow this podcast on whatever platform you're using. So if you're on YouTube, drop a subscribe and a like. If you're on Apple Podcasts, hit that, add this to your library and go leave a review. Spotify, same thing. We'd appreciate it, because we put a lot of time into this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you like this kind of episode, feedback is much appreciated. So this is like, I don't know, Maseo and I are trying to read more. Book reports like this give us good content to talk about. That's helpful. I know this isn't really finance related, but I think everything ties into like all this bettering yourself, this personal development is going to help you earn a lot more money. And I mean, hopefully like habits like this, you can get into good financial habits and stuff for personal finance like that. Like, I know what I talked about, saving money and putting money into your investing account, like making that a habit. So I think there's definitely tie-ins. We'll have more business related book reports coming up though. So
yeah,
that'll be
soon.
Good. Yeah. All right. Mark your calendars for next week. I don't think it'll be another book report unless like I speed read, but we've plenty of content that's just been sitting in our dock. We really want to get this Atomic Habits episode done while it's still relevant for the new year and while you can still apply this to your resolutions. That's it. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Next week's gonna be fun. There's so much stuff cooking. You guys aren't even ready for it. Teen Finance is about to kill 2023. You know it. All right. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Toodles.
Bye.